Hello students. So in today's class again we are continuing with simple Huckel method, or we call it with different names we have seen in the last class. So on the basis of whatever we have learned in the last class, and we learned how to draw a secular determinant for a system, on the basis of all that now we will be doing few calculation in today's class. First thing we will be learning is how to calculate the coefficient C1, C2 and so on of molecular orbitals like bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals which are formed after the combination of atomic orbitals. Second thing, we will be calculating, we will be writing the wave function for the bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals on the basis of these C1, C2 coefficients. Once we calculate these values, we will be able to write the wave functions for different energy levels. Third thing is the charge on the atoms. So we have a formula. After writing the wave function, we will calculate the charge on each atom in the system. Next thing is bond order between carbon atoms. So between any two carbon atoms in the system, we will be able to find out the bond order again on the basis of the coefficients and the wave functions. Okay. Next thing is the resonance energy of the system. By comparing all the system with some simpler systems, we can calculate what amount of energy is extra needed or what amount of energy is lesser in the system. In the last class, we have seen we can write the simplified equation for the secular determinant was in this form. Here H is the Coulomb integral part, or the matrix with the elements which are which represents the integrals, Coulomb integrals. C was the coefficients, different coefficients which are coming from the contribution of atomic orbitals. So this in the matrix form can also be written as this way. Similarly, for the energy, it is a diagonal matrix and it can be extended to the number of the order of the number of carbon atoms in the system. Now see, I assume the simplest system, which is ethene. So I have only two carbon atoms. Here H2C, double bond C and H2. So I have 1 and 2 carbon atoms. So the order of this, all these matrices will be 2 by 2, or I can here separately write them as H11, H12, H22, H21, because there are only 2 carbon atoms. Similarly, for the energy, we will be having energy E, 0, 0 and E. For C also, we will be having different coefficients, C11, C12, C21 and C22. So for this system, this equation can be written as, here I can write it, we have H is equal to CE C inverse. So H can be written as H11, H12, H21, H22. C here is C11, C12, C21, C22. Energy will be E, 0, 0, E. And C inverse will be, rows will be converted to columns. So they will be C11, C12, C21 and C22. Now because if these elements are equivalent, atoms are equivalent, C2 and C12 and C21 will be equal. So these two matrix will be almost same. So anyways, I have written these elements separately over here. So now let's see what happens next. So we are here going to find out the coefficients C11, C12, C21 and C22. So we need to make some assumptions. So before I solve this equation, this entire equation, I must know the value of E. When I know the value of this E, then only I will be able to calculate these elements by diagonalizing this matrix. Okay, so now let's move to the previous steps. What we did in the last class, we had this secular determinant is equal to 0. Here let's say this element is alpha. This is alpha. S11 was 1, S12 was equal to 0, this was equal to 1, this was equal to 0, this was called beta, again this was called beta. Here S was 0, S22 was equal to 1. So this equation will be reduced to alpha minus E, beta, beta, alpha minus E is equal to 0. So this is the simplified one. On the basis of this equation, we will find out the value of E. Okay. Now for further simplification, divide this entire, multiply this entire equation by 1 by beta. So we will have alpha minus E upon beta. Here 1, 1 and alpha minus E upon beta. Alright, now for further simplification, I just substitute this entire thing is equal to x. So again this will again be x. So I have x11x is equal to 0. Now we can calculate the value of x and then calculate the value of E in terms of alpha and beta. So let's see. So it will be x square minus 1 is equal to 0 when I solve this determinant. It means x is equal to plus minus 1. So when I have x is equal to plus minus 1, I can substitute the value. I have alpha minus E upon beta is equal to plus minus 1. So when it is plus 1, when it is plus 1, and what happens when it is minus 1. So here it will be alpha minus E is equal to beta, or energy is equal to alpha minus beta. Okay, and in this case this will be alpha minus E is equal to minus beta, hence energy will becomes alpha plus beta. So these are the two possible energy values for the molecular orbitals. Out of these two, one has to be the energy of bonding molecular orbital, another one has to be for the anti-bonding molecular orbitals. We make few more assumptions so that we can be clear about the things. Now I assume here alpha is equal to 0 and beta is equal to minus 1. Okay, let me write it clearly. Assume that alpha is equal to 0 and beta is equal to minus 1. So here the energy will be equal to, when you substitute this will be plus 1 and here energy will be minus 1, two energy values. So we can say we have two energy values over here. If I say this is E1 and this is E2, so now this equation comes over here. From this equation I can substitute 1 here and minus 1 here. Alright, again in this equation this was equal to alpha, this element, and this was equal to beta, this was equal to beta, and this is alpha. So I just replace these elements with the values, numerical values of alpha and beta. So I will have zero minus 1 minus 1 0. We have to calculate the values of these elements now. We will diagonalize these these matrices now to find out the values of these elements. It means the left hand side has to be equal to right hand side. So we will substitute the possible values for C11, C12 and so on, so that the left hand side becomes right hand side, and that is possible only when we have the values of C1. So when we do it by mathematical rearrangements, we find out that the value of these coefficients which satisfy this equation are C11 is equal to 1 by root 2, which becomes 0.707, 0.707, and here it is minus 0.707. So we have the value of these coefficients. We have the assumed values of alpha and beta, and we have the values of energy in terms of alpha and beta. So we will take the energy values like this. So let's see now how to write the wave functions on the basis of these coefficients for molecular orbitals. So these were the wave functions for the molecular orbitals. When we substitute the values of these coefficients, we will have 0.70751 plus 0.70752, here 0.70751 minus 0.70752. So these are the wave functions for the molecular bonding and anti-bonding orbitals. Now we have to decide which one is bonding and which one is anti-bonding. In bonding molecular orbitals, there is constructive overlap, plus plus and minus minus for the two carbon atoms. So this way this will overlap. So there will be a positive sign between the two wave functions of the two carbon atoms. So this is for the bonding orbital, this wave function. In anti-bonding orbitals, there comes a node. So they overlap with different lobes. Plus sign over here, minus over here, minus and plus. So there will be a node. It means there is a minus sign. So this wave function represents anti-bonding molecular orbital. So with the help of this, we can draw the energy level diagram. If this is for non-bonded system, we have bonding orbital and we have anti-bonding orbital. So here the wave function is, what was the energy for this system? This was E1 and this energy was alpha plus beta. This energy is alpha because alpha was 0. So this is ground state energy where and alpha minus beta. Right, why the positive sign quantity is over here? Because beta is equal to minus 1. So alpha minus something means lesser in energy than alpha, and alpha minus beta means beta is minus 1 over here. So alpha plus something is above energy. Okay, so the wave functions will be psi 1 for this energy level. This it will be 0.70751 minus plus 0.70752. Here we have 0.psi 2 is equal to 0.70751 plus 0. Here it is minus 70752. This is antibonding. So this way we can write the wave functions for the energy levels and alpha plus beta terms. Now see how many electrons, the pi electrons are present in our system. In C double bond C, we have 2 pi electrons. So when we fill the energies, the electrons in these energy levels, we will be doing this way. So we have 2 electrons in alpha plus beta energy level and 0 electrons in above all the levels. Alright. So what will be the energy or this system energy of this pi system? Will be equal to 2 into number of electrons into energy of this level, alpha plus beta. It becomes 2 alpha plus 2 beta. So we can say energy for this system is 2 alpha plus 2 beta. Now let's see how to calculate the charge on any carbon atom on the basis of these coefficients. So this is the coefficient corresponding to carbon atom number 1 and this coefficient corresponds to carbon atom number 2. Here also this coefficient represents the carbon atom 1 and this coefficient represents carbon atom 2. Okay, so this is for first atom, this one is for carbon 1, this coefficient is for carbon 2, this is again for carbon 1, this is for carbon 2. So let's see how to calculate the charge and bond order between the two carbon atoms. The formula for the charge on any atom is this one. Q is the total charge on that particular carbon atom, 1 minus summation NCi square. Ci is the coefficient which belongs to that carbon atom in all the wave functions, and N is the number of electrons present in that level. So we have only 2 energy levels over here. So we will have number of electron in first energy level 2, the coefficients, okay, let me write it, charge on carbon 1, first carbon atom. So carbon 1, so number of electrons in first level 2 into the coefficient corresponding to that carbon atom, the first coefficient, which is 0.707, plus next level, next is this one alpha. Here the coefficient is 0 because wave function do not have any coefficients or anything, so we can write 0 into 0, plus next we have 0 electrons in this level, but the coefficient corresponding to first carbon atom is 0.707. So it becomes 1 minus, okay, we have to make square and square. So it will be 2 into 1 by 2 because this coefficient is equal to 1 by root 2. So square of root 2 becomes 2 plus 0 plus 0. It is 1. Hence 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So this is the charge on the carbon atom 1. Let's see what is the charge on carbon atom 2. Carbon atom 2, we have 1 minus, again in first level 2 electrons, the coefficient corresponding to second carbon atom, again 0.707 square, plus here no charge, no wave function, no electrons, no wave function in the next one. The coefficient corresponding to C2 is minus 0.707, so 0 into minus 0.707 square. This way, again this will be 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So charge on both the carbon atoms is 0 in this system. The next thing is to calculate the bond order between different two carbon atoms. So bond order between C1 and C2, carbon atom 1 and 2, how to calculate it? So this is the formula. Here this 1 represents the sigma bond and this part is for the pi bond. So the total bond order will be coming out. If you want to calculate only the pi bond, you can just remove this term. So with this formula we will be calculating the total bond order. So here we have 1 plus n is again the number of electrons in that particular level where these coefficients Ci and Cj for the system is considered. So we have the first wave function, the coefficients are C1 and C2 coefficients are the same. 2 number of electrons are present here. So 2 into 0.707 into 0.707 plus next level 0 into 0 plus next level, number of electrons are 0 into the coefficients are 0.707 into minus 0.707. So this will be 1 plus 2 into 1 by 2, it will be 1 plus 0 plus 0. So 1 plus 1, the bond order coming out to be 2 here. So we know that in ethene we have C double bond C. One is sigma, one is pi bond. So this way you can calculate charge on any atom and the bond order between any atoms when you know the wave functions and when you know how many electrons are present in any energy level.